So when it comes to Scott Honeycutt and Steve Cordova, they both went ahead and said they're going to see what the taxes are going to do. Are we making sure the taxes are going to go for the roads, says Scott Honeycutt, and then we're going to make sure that the taxes go for this recreation center. So Steve Cordova is going to be this anti-marijuana zealot, right? He's been lied to or been lying to everybody his entire life about marijuana. It's not crack, it's not heroin, it's not even alcohol. It is the wimpiest of all drugs. And it's also Native American, so you want to talk about the Comanche and the Utes, anytime, any day. Let's talk about the people who were here first for the last 14,000 years. So, the anti-marijuana reactionaries, it's a peace pipe. You all don't want no world peace? So, no, Steve Cordova, marijuana didn't bring in the heroin and the meth into Conejos County. The heroin and the meth were in Conejos County way before marijuana was legalized. Marijuana didn't bring in the crime or the poverty. They've always been here. What marijuana did do is they brought in more people, specifically marijuana people, marijuana migrants, tokers, tourists, and I am a, marijuana migrant myself. I smoke marijuana religiously, daily, probably too much so, but that's it. I don't care for any other vice. I don't drink alcohol. I've never tried meth or heroin. Just the before and after photos of meth users was enough to scare me away from that bullshit for the rest of my life. Oh, so you go from being gorgeous and young and vibrant and pretty to disgusting and scratching your face and your teeth falling out? That's disgusting as fuck. Why the fuck would anybody even try that shit? It looks like you're drinking gasoline, right? It might be like get you high for a day or two, but it's fucking gasoline. I'm sure it's going to kill you like crocodile and devil's breath. So, in every group of people, it doesn't matter who you are, white, black, brown, old, young, straight, gay, religious, non-religious, there's good and there's bad folks in every single motherfucking group. So, more marijuana migrants doesn't mean more crime, it means more people. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? That, history can tell. We can go ahead and size every person up if we want to. But let's talk about the religious people. You're telling me you're a Christian and you've been ignoring childhood poverty your entire lives? You're not good people. You've been ignoring injustice right in front of your faces your entire motherfucking life. That's horrible. That's evil. If you ignore injustice, right, you see the poverty and then at first you care, but then later on you're like, you know what? It's their fault, and you start hating the people, right? You didn't do shit about it. It's like the old boiling a frog phenomenon, right? When you're a frog and you're sitting in water and you slowly get boiled to death, you don't notice it. If it was hot, the frog jumps out, but if you just slowly raise the temperature on the frog, he, stays right there until he's boiled to death. That's what's been going on with poverty here. There's a cancer here, there's a major problem here, and they're not even admitting it to it or addressing it. Cordova admits to it, but he's not, his main thing is opioids. And that's what a lot of these Democrats have said. It's the opioids. You had the Edward Vigil for the county commissioner up in Alamosa County. You got Donald Valdez. And you have Steve Cordova. All Democrats sitting there saying it's the opioids. The drug problem is the worst problem ever. Yeah, well, I don't agree with you. I think that the war on drugs has failed. And when Steve Cordova talks like that, I mean, he's taken the Republicans' thunder, and if it works, it works. But unfortunately, the war on drugs has failed. So we have to do something different. We got to do something completely different. He's talking about more fascism and more jails, more violence. Okay, well, that's the last goddamn option. We have to exhaust all other options for this public health crisis. What if the heroin addict just needs a hug? Cordova, county commissioners, Republicans, Christians. What if all the heroin addict needed was a fucking hug? Well, let's be honest. You don't want to hug, a heroin addict. Gross. They might be dirty, right? Ew, gross. Who wants to hug them? But if that's all they needed, and you're being serious about stopping it, give that motherfucker a hug. Jesus Christ. So, okay, what are we doing now? So, I can pick on the religious addicts, those who are addicted to believing in imaginary friends in the clouds. Who they talk to? Often. You talk to an imaginary friend in the clouds? Okay, you're insane as fuck. Does Cordova have any solutions to these insane motherfuckers who believe in some imaginary friend in the clouds? These cold-hearted Christians didn't give a shit about the massive amounts of poverty in the last 2,000 years. And do they need another 2,000 years? Instead of illuminating and actualizing the natural goodness in people, perhaps Christianity is just more of a cloak, a cover, a facade to just prove to others that you're good, even though you're wicked as fuck. So I digress. Like I said, in every group of people, there's good and bad. There's good and bad Christians. I really like Martin Luther King, Dorothy Day, Oscar Romero. These are great Christians. Oscar Romero, Dorothy Day, and Martin Luther King Jr. And there's also good and bad potheads. Abby Hoffman, Seth Rogen, and Zach Galifianakis. There's 3 good potheads. So, you know, marijuana is my vice. I'm okay with that. I don't go around hurting folks, and I don't get any sadistic pleasure out of the injury of others like the guy named Campos who terrorizes Antonito. There's a man named Campos who is terrorizing Antonito right now. See, the difference between me and Campos is I got a conscience. I can't even hurt a spider. I got to pick up a spider and put it out there because I feel so much remorse. So I don't oppose the war on drugs because I want more heroin and meth. In fact, I very much want less of that shit. Who the fuck wants that, you know, shit in their streets? I oppose it because it's failed. And we have a right to our own body. So on principle, it's wrong, but it's failed. Instead of wasting our precious time and resources, why don't we actually do something, you know, that we can actually do about it? Why don't we actually do something that helps?